Hi everyone, hi YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. This channel is actually dedicated to talking about business ideas that can actually help elevate us, and also it also dedicated to talk about the phone accessory business and how best someone can jump into selling phone accessories, and also how best someone can jump into selling phones. Okay, so I'm an expert in phone accessory business because I've actually been doing this business for this is the fourth year that I've been doing this business, and I've seen tremendous changes in the times that I started until this moment. Okay, so in my starting, I started with a very small capital. I started with a 1,800. That was the starting capital I started with, and I have seen gradual change with consistent and so many things that I've learned on the way. And that's why I've made this YouTube channel to make it as a platform where someone who wishes to start can find the courage, the motivation, and everything they need to get started to jump into the business. Okay, literally, I only talk about phone accessory business. I also talk about phones, but the ideas that are actually in disinvent, the ideas that I talk about, they can actually help you even learn other businesses as well. So this cannot only be just for phone accessories. At times, the same ideas can be used to start the phone accessories and many other businesses, right? So in case you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is SIKA-The entrepreneur. I'm a former biology teacher. Well, I left teaching to come and concentrate on my phone accessory business. And I can tell you that since the moment I left that, wow, it was so nice. It wasn't so boring because I was a busy teacher. But since the moment I left teaching, then I came up with this side. I can testify that I've seen a lot of progress more than I could have seen in my teaching career. And that's why I'm here to only share my own experience. Well, I don't read books to come and tell you what I'm talking about. No, but the only thing I do, I just look through my experience. Almost every video that I've made on this platform is just a video to talk about my experience and the stuff that I've gone through the process of these 4 years of growing the business from small step by step, up to the point where it is. So that's why I'm only giving you the information for you to get started. Listen, a millionaire can't criticize you for starting a business. Okay, an athlete can't criticize you for working out. The only people that can criticize you are those people that are actually going nowhere, those people that don't have a direction. If mainly you sit down and think about maybe starting over, jumping into a business, the people that can come on your way to criticize you are just the people that when you look at them, maybe you're even better than them. Maybe the ideas that you have conceived, they can't even think about them. Those are the people that can criticize you. But guess what? Despite the criticism and everything around, it's your time to shine. Right. So with that being said, let me jump into the video. My video today, I want to talk about my first month when I started my phone accessory business. Well, as you know, and as I stated in the first preamble, I started with a very small budget because I never had so much money, and this has really taught me a lot of lessons, which I feel I can teach you in the next few videos. Right. Starting with a small capital, it is an opportunity for your mind to get to be tested because you think way much better than the money that you have. That is a beauty. You think crazy. I mean, you just be crazy into your thoughts because you'll be thinking about thousands and millions, the monies that you don't really have. But guess what? The moment you tune into that frequency, it will be easy for you to come up with solutions, to come up with ways that can actually land you into a lot of millions. Okay, so with such a background and a 1.8, and then talking of a booth, a small one, and such as a small booth like of Airtel Mini, the ones they use. So it was quite a month because this was my first time that I entered into business fully, and I felt like, okay, fine, I need to make fortune out of this thing. And the only good thing about starting small is the mindset, okay? Because at this point, you'll be a person that really has small but with a very bigger vision. That is one thing that a person who is starting small has to bear in mind, okay? Just like they say that almost every year people come up. Right now, as we are talking, there are people that are planning, say, okay, next year I'm supposed to do this business and this business. And when businesses start, like almost 70% of the businesses actually fail. Okay, so then why do they fail? Like most of the times, there are people that start. Some people might have money, some people might have, a lot of resources around. But the only problem begins when a person is not having too much capital, like ideas. Okay, so that's one thing that really kept me so much within my first month, because I wasn't actually looking at what I had at that particular point, but what I was looking at was the vision of the place that I was dreaming to go to. Okay, because at that point, I'm sure there were a lot of people that were around that were still doing the same business and all that stuff. So then, the only thing that I couldn't really do is to actually compare myself to those people that are already existing, those people that are already working and all that stuff. I couldn't actually do that, because I knew to say if I actually do that, I'll be killing myself and the business. Okay. So then the best thing that I did was just to concentrate on myself, the better way I can actually improve and all that stuff. Okay. So starting up, guys, it was really not so easy. Most of you guys that are starting and are sending me of the footages on how you are getting started, it's just something that is really touching, because you guys are starting with huge sums amount of monies, and you're having also huge um, you're also having huge stock, more than I really had. So I'm really happy for you guys. So then that gives you an opportunity to even grow very fast. Tell you guys, if at all I look at where I'm starting from and where I am right now, I was thinking to myself to say, if I at all had better opportunities during the time I was starting, maybe for example, if maybe I started with a 12,000, maybe I started with a 10,000, I think I couldn't have been here. Okay. And also, one thing that was really hard for me within the same month, the experience that I had was somebody had to come in and steal from my laptop bag, because I was actually carrying the items in my laptop bags, then I could put them home. So then when I put them home, someone broke into my house, stole my clothes, stole my pots, too bad they even stole my cooking oil. Okay. So after they stole all that, and then also they also reached out to my bag, and then they picked, thank thankfully he never picked the whole bag. I thank God for that. He just opened, took some stuffs and all that. I just meant with lower than 1/8. Okay, so it was such kind of an experience whereby you are getting started with a lot of challenges, and then also you don't really just have so much resources in place, and it becomes so difficult, guys. So then I wasn't optimistic on how much money I'm going to make, but rather I was for providing the solutions for the people that I was targeting. Actually, my target was the people that were coming across from the lake, coming into my district. So I depressed my booth light on such a place, and then like this very first month, I could really go for 2 weeks without even making a sale. So because of that location, it also determined how much I was actually making. So as I worked from there. I couldn't really settle there, because I was thinking this place is not good. It was near the lake, so soon enough, maybe when you have a lot of rains, the soil can even go away. Like we can find ourselves on the lake and all that stuff. So I was actually in a dilemma, guys. I was actually in a dilemma. So I could work out things so fast. I was pushing again for another place. The place wasn't actually bearing itself. So then I was like, okay, fine. I need to leave this place. I need to look for a place that is actually better. I asked my friends that were actually doing businesses, and they could just give me, one bad part about these people that might have a little education about business. They actually have a lot of calculations when they want to do certain things. So I talked to some of the friends that were actually into business on the papers. I asked them, they told me a lot of calculated moves and all that. It becomes so difficult for me. So as a result, I just said to myself, so fine, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna change the place and all that stuff. So it was actually so difficult, like I can say. But few months down the line, I decided, so let me quit teaching, because I knew to say, since I've changed the place, I came here now, where I started making customers. God created a miracle. The first time that I came over, the first time I started, I saw the money I made in the first day was actually the money that I was making in my previous month, maybe after 2 weeks or so. So then I was like, okay, fine, this is a place to settle. And I actually settled on such a place, guys. So it was quite an experience. So one thing I've just learned from my experience during my first month is one should not be shy to start small. You should, pass through those barriers, thinking, no, how are people going to look at me? Of course, it could be so cumbersome, so bad. Imagine you have those childhood friends, you have those families, and then they pass by and say, they look at you, what you're doing. Some of them can even give you comments and all that, those that are really negative and all that stuff. And, you are there, and it's you that knows where you want to go. Okay, right now I can't be shy to start even something to the smallest point. I can't be shy to do that because why? I've actually experienced that, and it has taught me so many lessons. Number two lesson I've learned from my first month is, starting small is better than having a lot of stuff. Why? Because it made my mind so creative. I was really creative about stuffs because some of the things that I couldn't buy, I could actually do. I could improvise. So it really actually opened my mind to being creative. Okay, rather than just someone comes in and hands you over a lot of money and all that stuff. So it really helped me to be creative and open my mind and all that stuff. So to whoever wants to get started with limited resources and all that stuff, I always tell you to say money is not a problem, but the problem is all upstairs. You need to have ideas, you need to know how to best to organize yourself, and you also need to know how far you want to go and where you want to reach. That is one thing that is really important. Okay, so for now, guys, I'm stopping here. If at all you wish to talk to me, send a message to +260 979 510170. My name is Sika, and the future is truly bright.